Clans is a game that has been around forever and it has gone through many ups and downs. However, it has always managed to survive and stay on top. And today we'll be going over the best and also worst things about the game in this moment. And this way we'll be able to see how the game is doing and we can compare to the past and also to the future once we get there. So let's just get right into it. We're going to start off with 4 of the best things about the game first and then move on to 4 of the worst things. So let's just start off with the raid weekends. Now these have been around for a while and I'm sure they'll be around in the future, and this is just because they're so fun. The raid weekends are something that everyone can just look forward to since it happens every weekend and you kind of know what to expect. Being able to attack multiple bases multiple times is really just super fun, and it's always great since the raid weekends are way less stressful or intense than the clan wars or clan war leagues. And this just lets you also have fun attacks and also serious attacks depending on what you want to do. And I personally say that the rewards are just better than the clan wars because you can buy a lot more with the raid medals, and that just helps out with progression even more. Though the clan wars are still fun and just way more iconic than the raid weekends. However, right now I'd say more people look forward to the raid weekends as they seem more special than the clan wars if your clan is always just running a war. But next up, we have the Unlimited Heroes event, and this is a pretty obvious addition. This is basically what people have been wanting for years now, and it finally came in the form of an event. In case you've been living under a rock, the Unlimited Heroes event lets you use your heroes even while they're upgrading, and this basically means people can upgrade their heroes as much as they want while still being able to use them in battle, and that makes it so it doesn't impact their actual battles and lets people participate in clan wars more because they have all heroes available. And this has really just made people want this to be a permanent thing because it increases the quality of life in the game by a ton. And I think that the success of this event may convince Supercell to end up making Unlimited Heroes a permanent thing, but I guess we'll really just have to wait and see. But the next really good thing about the game right now is the training times, and this was actually inspired by this post on Reddit in which you had one person complaining about the training times and then the other person putting into perspective just how good we have it now. And as someone who has been playing since near the beginning, I completely understand this since I know the 2 biggest factors I had to consider when training an army was how much it was gonna cost and how long it was gonna take. However, now none of those things are even a factor since it doesn't cost anything to train troops anymore, and it realistically also doesn't take too long to the point where you need to change armies depending on training time. I mean, back when the spells first got added to the game, they would literally take between 12 and 18 hours to cook for a single one, which was just insane. And the times will get reduced over the period of a few months until it was down to about 30 minutes, but that is still insane considering now those spells take close to 5 minutes to train. So if you really just put things into perspective, then these training times as well as the removal of training costs are really just some of the best things to exist in the game. But as for the final good thing about the game right now, well, we just have the whole community in general. Right now, the atmosphere around the game is a lot more lively and there's just a lot more excitement when compared to like a year or 2 ago. The game has become a faster pace with the devs just doing more stuff and interacting with the community a lot more. And honestly, this has just been really great and shows how the devs really do care. Now, the thing that would make it even better was if Darian was still on the team. However, he obviously isn't, which is unfortunate, but the game is still doing pretty well. Clash of Clans is really starting to feel more like Brawl Stars when it comes to the community, since there's no doubt that Brawl Stars has the best community out of all these Supercell games, so it is nice to see how Clash of Clans is headed more in that direction instead of towards something like Clash Royale. But with that, we are now on to the 4 worst things about the game currently. So let's start off with the Root Riders. Now, I know I've talked about them a million times on this channel, but I suppose that just means it makes sense to put them here. The Root Riders have just created a very spam meta in the game, and has kind of made attacking boring at Town Halls 15 and 16, and despite numerous nerfs to them, the Root Riders are still dominating, and that's because the nerfs they got didn't target the things that made them so good, which are their health and their ability to slice through walls like butter. Right now, the main nerf we have seen is to the damage, however that never really was the problem. So I guess the bad thing really is Supercell's inability to properly properly nerf or balance out the Root Rider. And I know some people obviously do like it because it makes it easier for them to attack. However, in the long run, I just don't think this would be a good thing for the game, and I really do hope in the future we see at least some major nerfs that just make the Root Riders more balanced and a bit more variety to the attacks, since right now a majority of attacks are still just using Root Riders, which overall makes the game less interesting. But next up, we have the accessibility for epic hero equipment. In general, it really is the epic hero equipment that is the best. However, it is also the hardest to get. Right now, the main way people get the hero equipment is through the events that bring a certain piece of epic equipment, and this is essentially a free way to get the equipment because you can get enough stuff from the event in order to get the equipment, assuming you play enough, obviously. However, if you end up missing out on the event due to not having enough time for various reasons, then you're basically out of luck, since the next way to get the equipment will be to go to the trader shop and purchase it for a whopping 1500 gems, which is really just way more than most people can afford. So this basically forces people to play the game for the equipment. However, a lot of people can't do that every single month, which means they're forced to dish out 1500 gems in order to get the equipment. So I really hope in the future there's a better way to get the equipment for people who missed the event. But the next bad thing is with the matchmaking for clan war leagues. Now, I don't know what it is, but for some reason the matchmaking can just be absolutely horrible, where it is completely unfair for one team. Like, you can get paired up with people 2 town halls above you and you're essentially guaranteed to lose. And this is really an issue with clan war leagues that has been going on for a while, and I think the problem is because it is only based on the leagues that clans are in, and town hall levels aren't really taken into account, so that leads to unfair matchups. However, in normal clan wars, this happens much less often since the town halls are also taken into account there, I believe. And this is really just a problem because it can negatively affect the rewards that you get in clan war leagues, as you may play slower down, and if it happens too much, then it could cause you to get demoted even if you were a good clan, just because your opponents were like 2 town halls above you. But anyways, let's move on to the final bad thing on the list, and that is with the player support. Now, this is something that has more recently been getting worse and worse, and you see more and more complaints of people seeing how support has been useless, and I mean, they are right. The current Supercell support system honestly kinda sucks for all of their games, and this is something that definitely needs to get fixed soon. There are tons of people out there that are losing their accounts, and there is truly nothing they can do about it because Supercell support just isn't very helpful. Fortunately, I've never needed to experience Supercell support, but I've just seen way too many bad things about it that I know they are a big problem. So in the future, I really do hope the support gets fixed, and I don't exactly know what the problem is, but it could just be a lack of training, which I think isn't too hard to fix with a company like Supercell. But anyways, overall, those have been 4 of the best and worst things about the game currently. Let me know if there's anything you guys think that should belong on there that I didn't include down in the comments. But I hope you guys enjoyed the video, and I'll see you all in the next one.